Welcome back to another episode of Aunt and Andrew, where family's everything.
Until it's not.
Aunt, did you like Vanderpump Rules this week?
I love Vanderpump Rules.
Even if it's not good?
Even if it's not good, it's better than anything else on TV.
Well, before we get started, like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram.
Aunt and
Do the
Andrew.
whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah, do it all. Please send me messages. I love messages.
Okay, get an
I
imaginary
do.
friend. Well, breaking news, Luann watched our review
Oh my
of
gosh.
her show.
Of her show.
We haven't gotten a full recap yet of her recap of the recap. But
I want to go see Luann again, actually.
I do too. And Sonia's tickets are outrageous because she's in a smaller venue.
Yeah. Yeah, but Sonia, you can sit in any seat and still pay $100 to meet her afterwards. Where Luann, you had to be in a certain section to be able to do a meet and greet. And Sonia, it's all just out there. Buy any seat you want, $100, you can shake her hand. I kind of like that. It's almost like one of those autograph shows, where you can see everybody at the autograph. But if you want their autograph, you got to pay $20.
Well, you can do that any weekend. Just walk through a mall at a sports store. They usually got some local trash box signing something.
I know, but if you want to, you can see them. But if you want to meet them, get a picture and get it signed, you have to.
Before we get started, I did see a couple of autograph people waiting at an event I was at the other day. Old men with autographs. It kind of showed me of what I could have been.
Andrew used to be a huge autograph collector of baseball back in the day.
I sold shit though, so.
You did it.
I wasn't really a collector. I was a collect dealer, like a collector and a dealer hybrid.
But you would 10.
Yeah.
You would 10. And whose grandparents would just leave them in the middle of a ballpark parking lot for the day and come back and get them 4 hours later?
My grandfather used to stay there for a while. Then he'd stop a little bit. Then he stopped a little bit more. And eventually just dropped me off and leaving me. And then by the end, before there was a reason behind it, they got a little annoyed that they had to bring me there. Then they started to have different things happen health-wise, so it made sense. But for a little bit, I think they were just jealous. I think my grandmother was. She was pissed I was making the cash.
No, I just can't believe your grandparents, my parents, used to just drop you off at a parking lot in the middle of a spring training.
My grandpa used to love when people would ask me to go, like there'd be old men his age there that would like push me to the front so the players would come over at spring training. And like he thought it was the best thing. He thought it was so great. He was like, "Oh, they're just using you." I'm like, "I don't care."
It was fun. Those were good times, weren't they?
The best.
They were great. Best. And you know what that leads me to? That does anybody wear clothes on Vanderpump Rules?
I mean, Lala never wore clothes, and like Scheana's kind of copying it. Scheana, I just call her Lena. I almost said Scheana and Lala.
Scheana.
Scheana seems to be having a little bit of an identity crisis.
Oh, she is. Yeah, you know what? She was my focus because she arrived at Lisa's. Now, if I was going to Lisa's, I wouldn't be in my athletic wear. That's
unless it was a Brooks Marks tracksuit.
Well, the Brooks Marks tracksuit.
We'll get there.
Don't you want one? I do.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, totally. Who's rocking it? The Scheana.
It's sad to watch.
It is sad to watch. Like I'm focusing on Scheana more than anybody else. I actually think Scheana is the most fractured, not fractioned.
Oh yeah.
4/5 = 8/10. She is the most fractured.
Damaged, or yeah. Oh, you said fractioned.
I said fraction. I didn't mean fraction. I meant fractured. She's the most fractured member of the cast, way more than Sandoval, because Sandoval does it. None of it even dawns on him.
I think that Scheana, if I was Scheana, I'd be very grateful that I have not been the center of controversy for these 10 years. Because if you really look back,
I don't think she could handle it.
She hooked up with Eddie, broke up Brandy and Eddie, right? Like that's her big moment. Then also she's been, she now is talking about how no one liked her season 1, only Sandoval. We now know that she has, she had the first marriage. He was an addict. Then she
Right.
got rid of him. She hooked up with Carl from Summer House. She's hooked up with other Bravo
Who was the
celebrities. Like,
guy? Who was the guy? Rob? Who was the guy they were highlighting the other night that all she talked about? I think his name was Rob a couple of seasons ago.
oh yeah, the guy from The Bachelor or whatever.
Yeah, Rob,
Yep.
Rob, Rob can do this. Rob.
Yep.
You know what? Unfortunately, Scheana puts all of her identity into her man.
Yeah. And now, like, she has a baby, Sandoval hits, she starts making a ton of money on her podcast. And it's like, oh, wait, now you realized after you, like, I could have told you you had OCD and anxiety years ago, girlfriend. Like, and I feel like I
Yeah,
feel bad that
yeah.
she did nothing about it then, or it seems as if she did nothing about it then. Well, then, of course, it's challenging now. It's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. That's what's called when you suppress the things around you. And then they all just boom.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for her. I think she is just she's grown.
Yeah.
She's grown, but she hasn't grown up.
She's growing in front of our eyes on TV, which isn't the best place to grow because we're going to like watch your little moves, right? Where it's like, I think that what she's doing this season is all like, thank God. It's a long time coming, but we're now watching it. And it's like, whereas Lala, I feel like even if we watched the small progress in her life, it wasn't so in our face. Like she didn't put it in our face. So I feel like I wake up and I'm like, who is that Lala? Like, I'm
Mm.
like, wow, sometimes with the things she says. Like, I think it's totally fine that she's having her having her own baby. I think that it makes total sense. And when she said she wants a baby that's hers,
Yes,
that hit me. It made
yeah.
total sense to me.
I thought it did too. By the way, what are you standing in front of today?
Oh, I'm in front of the Southern District of New York courthouse because I think it's about time. We keep talking about all these politicians going there. I think we need a Bravo celebrity to roll up. We need someone. We haven't had Jen Shaw in a while, Teresa, so many different people. We need someone new.
Yeah, who else has been arrested besides Jen Shaw and Teresa? Well, that's
Well,
enough.
for financial crimes, not many.
No, but we have had a lot of DUIs.
No,
Yes, we have. We had Sonia. We had Luann. Well, she got arrested for
plenty.
beating up a cop. Tinsley.
Accused, alleged DUIs, not charged. It's a very important detail.
No,
Not
no.
all of them.
Luann was on parole, for God's sakes. I mean,
Yes, I do.
Luann
I
did.
do understand that.
Yeah. Oh,
Money can't buy you freedom.
wouldn't Luann's show have been great if she still had to have an ankle bracelet on?
She should have put one on.
Oh my God, Luann, if you watch it, put an ankle bracelet
She
on.
should have said, she should have put a nice little dangly around her ankle and said, do you
Because
guys like my ankle bracelet?
Because in Luann's show, she does show her mugshot.
Oh, yeah, multiple.
Who else has been arrested? Oh,
Free
Shannon.
show.
Shannon Bedour.
Oh, yes, Shannon.
She knocked over the
Storm the jail cell Bedour.
Okay, what did you think of let's just finish up on Scheana because I got a few other things to say about Scheana. She took dance lessons because she wanted to be on Dancing with the Stars. Do you
I
think
think
they'll
it's
have
a
her?
brilliant idea by production and Scheana. I don't think Sheena's meaning to, but I think production is definitely meaning to. And I'm going to say something about that after because I've learned something the past week on Bravo.
Oh.
Is that Scheana is plugging her moment on Dancing with the Stars without even knowing it. And I think production gets that.
Yes.
And knows people there. And like they have such a track, right? Because Lisa was on it, Ariana was on it, that like it would be really good publicity for Dancing with the Stars if they were to cast Scheana, because they know that it would be something that like they would get. We all know what's happening with Chicago right now with Ariana is that the show has had such a resurgence and it's solely because of Ariana fans. And so obviously Scheana is not the same as Ariana, but they don't have to make the same financial commitment to Scheana as they had to with Ariana. It's far less of a risk.
Well, yes, but remember, Ariana was Sheena's original backup dancer.
Exactly.
And Scheana is a recording artist. So maybe she could take over the role of
recording artist or a pop star. I think there's
well,
you would beg to differ.
She went into the recording studio and she recorded. So I guess she's a recording artist.
Yes, very true.
Think about it. You know, I know people who say they're an author just because they write their name. They go, why I write my name, but I'm still an author. I write. So, I mean, you can call yourself anything in this day and age.
Are we going to talk about the little gathering at Allie's house? Because before we do, I'd like to just make one little point.
Oh, go ahead.
It was brought to my attention.
Yes.
And I'm challenging our listeners and you, Aunt.
Okay.
look back at the clip when Ken Todd walks in to the kitchen and tells Lisa and Katie that Sandoval had Raquel's sleepover.
Did
And
you
look at,
hear?
yes, that Sandoval or
Yeah.
that Raquel slept over Sandoval's house. Look at Lisa's face. And then tune in to the scene when James sees Graham and when Lisa's talking to her employee about her mannerisms. There's a way to know when Lisa is recreating a scene.
Oh,
Now, I believe that Vanderpump Dogs found Graham. I believe that the whole thing happened. I
right.
just
That's
believe that
fine.
it was not
Right.
in that moment. And my friend
Okay.
also brought to my attention, Graham's really not that excited to see James.
No,
Like,
Graham
it's
could
not.
kill you.
Now, I think
It
that
wasn't
Graham
like
had
he
been with
returned
James
from
for a
war.
week
Yeah.
because
Oh,
also, if the
gotcha. That's a
dog
good
really,
observation.
I
Yeah.
think there's a little bit of truth to the fact that the dog was having some obedience issues. Now, I do believe that's because of how the dog was being treated, because my dog's a bitch, like a selfish little bitch that wants me all the time. Now,
But how would that little Belle
w-
be if you changed her name?
well, what I'm trying to say though
But
is that,
remember
like,
that he's calling her hippie now.
I get that, but what I'm trying to say is that
The dog's confused.
Belle Belle is selfish and like needs us all the time, but she's never questioned like her home, her love, all of that. That's very consistent.
I
So I
understand.
think that the dog might just be like scared and like be acting out because of it. But I think that because they had cats, because there was a show involved, they didn't want the dog to have obedience issues on the show. There must have been like a limbo time that they got the dog back up to speed, being comfortable, because
Hmm.
there's no way that they would have done that on TV.
Okay.
They're
All
too
right.
smart.
Nobody really cares about the dog.
Okay, so now going to Allie's house.
Okay. Well, I had other stuff before that.
What did you think happened good before that?
Well, um, well, Katie was, well, they went to eat. They went to
Wasn't
eat.
that after?
No, it was before. The psychic thing was at the end of the show. They
Oh,
did go to eat and they were talking about Sandoval and that they
oh,
saw
okay.
him
Yes, yes,
with
yes. You're right. You're
Lala
right. You're
and
right.
Ariana was there and
I liked
Ariana,
Lala's scene with Ariana before that,
yeah, at the
walking or
someplace.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
I think that I have a couple things that I like about that scene.
well, you know what I liked about it is that Lala did call her out and
Yes,
say,
and
like,
Ariana
can't you
didn't get mad.
support? And she said, you remember this girl got a restraining order over this.
Yep,
Like, out of everybody in this group, the only one that had a legal action against them was Scheana. And she got a
totally.
restraining order. Now, and
Absolutely.
considering how fragile we know Scheana is, I'm sure there being a restraining order totally shook her to the core. She
Absolutely.
probably thought they were going to come and take Summer Moon. I mean,
Probably.
I'm
I
just
think
saying.
so.
I think that that's where she has to get into it. You know
Yeah.
I think Ariana has. I told you I saw old episodes. Ariana's always been about Ariana.
Yeah, but
She
I
didn't
also think
want. She
everyone on
didn't
this show
want
has always been about
Christine
it themselves on
Doty
this show.
around either. You know what I mean? When she
Everyone
inconvenienced her.
everyone on this show has always been about themselves.
That's how most people are in life.
Yeah, but what
They're
I'm
about
saying,
themselves.
I think that Ariana didn't react super poorly to Lala. I think that what they need to say is like, I mean, there's a big elephant in the room.
Okay.
Why are we
Sandoval.
not talking about how if one of my colleagues was dating my other colleague
Yeah.
and one of them had an affair with another
Another
colleague,
colleague. Yeah.
I don't, depending on how good they were at their job, I
Yeah.
don't think my company would just fire them.
Why would they fire them unless they have a very hardcore
Policy about
policy
dating
about dating in
employees.
the office? Yeah.
Yeah. So my point is, this is your job. So like at
It
what
is their
but
job.
imagine if that happened and then one of them showed up and was like, I need to move my office. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't work on this. Well, that's when the company would be like, well, then that's a problem for us. So you should be fired. So quite frankly, Ariana is the one that I think is going to be the one that's moved from the show if she keeps it up. It's her own funeral.
Well, you know what? This show has got a different line than other shows. Like the housewives only call each other when they're filming. Let's face it, 9 times out of
Okay.
10, they don't see each other until then. People that you see are actually together, and that one would be like Shep and Craig are together all the time.
Yeah.
And not Shep, Austin and Craig, they're together a lot. That show blurs lines.
I think it's because they don't have families. I think they have more free time to see their friends. even
Yeah,
those
but
that
I
are
mean, I
coupled up.
think they have a different. That's a show with a different line, like Southern Charm, and this has a different line than other reality shows. Because the majority of reality shows, people are only talking to each other when they film,
That's true.
and though this show is not, they're
I
together.
did
They're actually
understand.
together.
I did understand Katie's perspective. I think that I
You
don't.
know what? I think Katie is a witch. Rhymes with and change it to
Yeah,
the
but we're not
B.
there yet. We'll talk about that
Yeah,
at
but we're
Allie's
at the
house.
dinner. No,
I
no,
don't think
no.
that what she said at the dinner was
No,
wrong.
I think
I
if
think
I'm
she should have
gonna,
said that a long
I'm
time
gonna
ago.
jump off of the roof. She is just.
Yes,
I
but
don't
here's
know
that was
how
it. That was
Schwartz.
dramatic.
Yeah, she
But
is
her
dramatic.
reasoning for not liking Sandoval is very valid.
She's never liked Tom,
I know,
ever.
but Tom's never been good to her. If you really watch
Well,
back, he has pulled Schwartz away from Katie. You didn't see Schwartz pulling Tom away from Ariana.
no, no, because that's not Schwartz, but that's Tom.
So
That's
I
Sandy.
understand where she's coming from.
Yeah, but
But
she's
she should
never
have
liked
said that.
Sandoval.
Why
She's
didn't she say that at the
never.
reunion?
I don't know. She's never liked
But
Sandoval.
I'm just surprised that it's coming out now. This is the first we're hearing that, like, it makes sense. I understand. I'm not saying that, like, oh, where did you pull this from, Katie? But
Yeah.
I do believe that. Were you really always mad about it, or is it convenient to share now?
Mm. No, I don't. I think she's always hated Sandoval.
Yes, but
No, you know what? I'm going to change that word. It's not hate. I think she has resentment.
yeah, and
There's
I think
difference.
now through maybe some therapy, and also because Sandoval is at the bottom of, he's the number 25 guy in the group, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that Katie feels empowered and is jumping on
Mm.
the
Yeah,
bandwagon of
I
being
think so
like,
too.
but I do believe that her
Hate
reasoning makes
Sandoval.
a lot of sense. I just don't think
She's hated him for years and she
I
hasn't
just
been
don't
able
think
to bring it
she
out.
had that opinion from the beginning. I think that it was a bill. I think that she's formulated this narrative now that Scandoval has happened,
Yeah.
but I always judge that. Like I that's why I like Lala so much. She says what she feels in the moment. It's not manipulated, it's not contrived. And I think that Katie
Agreed.
has a hard time expressing that because I think I think that Katie is a I don't know if Katie's a bitch per se. I think Katie doesn't share what's on her mind. She shares it the absolute last moment, and
Mm,
it comes off as disgenuine, manipulative, and contrived because of the fact that she's waiting so long to share it
mm.
instead of being real in the moment.
Well,
So,
I think she needs time to formulate her thoughts. That happens to me sometimes. I think that happens to a lot of people. You're in the middle of a situation and then afterwards you come up with all the good lines that you should have said like 2 days later to the person.
yeah. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
Katie
that's
has one good
normal.
line that she said in the moment.
Yeah.
Last season, you sound like a bad country song. And that was
Yeah.
the best
And
line
that
she's
was
ever
it.
had.
Ever,
And
ever.
it might be one of the better lines ever in reality TV. Honestly, how witty it was in that moment consecutively, like that's
Yeah,
hard
well,
to do. It's like you look like a worm with a mustache. Like that kind of stuff is hard to come up with on the spot. Whatever they say in those interviews, that's them reflecting on what they already filmed.
yeah,
They
they're
show up to
talking
those
heads. Yeah.
interviews with one-liners.
Oh yeah, I swear they got writers, and there's a million writers in California.
And I bet the producers sit here and say, "We need you to say something about this. Do you have anything great to say?"
Right.
I've been in that
But I
seat.
mean, even the housewives taglines, they're given like 4 or 5 to choose from.
Fans send them in
Yeah,
sometimes.
but I mean, it's not like they came up with them themselves. Like I came up with mine.
What I said to you the other day? I texted you. I go, I stir the pot, but I'm not a chef.
I like mine better.
Okay, well, that was situational based on something I did.
I know. You know what I want to bring up because I think this is important and my phone's going off here. Don't they know I'm busy?
Filming.
Um, um, Sandoval arrived at, I don't know, I didn't get the whole pump thing, but they were at Sir. I mean, where were they? They were at
Did they
Sir
put
with
up
the
a
pump.
gate? It just
Yeah,
didn't make
no,
sense to
Tom
me.
Tom. I didn't understand that. I think they took the old pump gate and they put it at Tom Tom.
Yeah,
Or
like,
was it beside it? I couldn't understand what was going on, but they were at Tom Tom. And
wouldn't you have loved to buy that from Lisa and put it right in
yeah,
your
oh, I
walkway?
love it. I put it
Could you
right here.
imagine? Would you
No,
replace it
I
on
put
your
it right
fence?
here. I would put it right
No,
here.
I know, but I'm saying
Yeah, oh,
outside your house.
definitely.
Would you like
Definitely.
change your
Yeah,
fence around the white fence
everything.
and put
Yes.
that in front of it?
Yeah,
I think
definitely
it'd
with
look fabulous.
I know. I'd put it right here behind me.
No,
I
well,
got a pump
that wouldn't
over
look
my
as good.
head.
It wouldn't be as iconic.
I think it would be good right here.
So let's
Uh,
fast forward to Allie's.
no, I want to talk about Pump and Sandoval because Sandoval did something that I've seen you do before.
Oh God.
And that's eat ice cream instead of have a cocktail.
I
Because
do that
he,
usually at night though, not during the day.
well, yeah, but once you were never one that, Andrew's sober for several years now, thankfully, his amazing journey
Thanks.
and into sobriety. And we're very proud
From
of you. But,
alcohol and cocaine.
and so
I want to make sure
Andrew,
I'm being honest with everyone.
okay, but Andrew, when we will go to different places as a family, he orders a bowl of ice cream when we're all having maybe what are those watermelon
Oh yeah, when
martinis?
we were up in Kennebunkport. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and his mom is she's such a gangster that she orders her she asks for the dirty
The
ice on the
dirty ice. I
side.
know. That's so funny.
I
But
know.
my mom,
But
for a while, people would say, why you, oh, you're gonna have an ice cream? And I'm like, you know that my ice cream has less calories than that little cocktail you got
yeah,
right
no,
there?
no, no. But I thought it was interesting that he was having a Diet Coke and he brought his ice cream, and you eat ice cream too. I
Well,
wonder
let
if
me just tell you,
Sandoval's
the same
still
place you're
sober.
talking about,
Yeah.
they don't give me ice cream after 9 o'clock
Oh.
because they close their kitchen. So I'm gonna get them this year a 12 pack of hoodsies, and I want it brought to me
On a
after
silver
hours.
platter, on a silver platter. But
Yes,
I
why
thought
not?
it was interesting that you also started eating ice cream.
Well, yeah,
I'm
but
trying
that's
to
because,
figure out if there's a correlation there is what I'm
oh,
asking.
I don't think so because it was midday for them. Like they weren't gonna have a cocktail.
Oh, she would have.
Maybe,
And
but
you know what? How about when they went to, I just have something else. So the ladies went to eat and the men went to the Brazilian
I don't even
steakhouse.
want to talk about the men. That was
No,
awkward as all
okay,
hell.
it was. But I have a question. Who was watching Summer Moon? Because they
Oh,
were, if it happened at the same time, I'm sure Scheana had a heart attack.
I mean, she Summer Moon fell off the couch the other day. So did you hear about that?
I heard she broke her arm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she fell off the couch, and Sheena's like, "Here I am," and it was a good moment of self-awareness. We know Sheena's growing.
Yes,
Sheena
I
goes,
know.
"Here I am talking about my journey on television of how I can't let go of my kid with other people." Meanwhile, she falls off the
Yeah, but I'm
Summer
going to
Moon
tell
takes
you,
clearly it wasn't a full moon, honey. It must have been one of those little
new moon,
cutting moons, little
new moon, a little
new moon
crescent moon.
crescent.
I will say, having raised a child, that and having watched you even as a young lad, I
Mm.
would prefer that if you were going to break your arm, you didn't do it with me.
Oh yeah,
Like it's
totally.
better, it's best for Scheana that it happened. If Little Summer Moon broke her arm while somebody else was
Oh, then Sheena would
watching,
never put her with
oh,
someone
she'd
again.
never, ever, ever, ever again.
That's so
Um,
true.
okay,
Like
so
falling off the couch,
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, we're not
rolling
going
off
to
the
talk
couch.
about Joe and Schwartz, right?
No, it's kind of, I don't think it, you know what? Let's save it
Yeah,
because it seems like it hits more of a head later on.
yeah. Okay. Okay. The astrology. What about it?
Allie has started now sharing her music on social media,
Yeah, she
and I
wanted to be
love
Taylor
her.
Swift
I
at
just
12.
love Allie Luber. I think she is shady. I think she understands who she is on this show. And what
Yeah.
she is that she is the girl that can be like, oh, I don't know what's going, like she is
Yeah.
totally able to be the sweet, kind girl, and she knows that. So she drops bombs.
Bombs.
She doesn't care.
Yeah, she
She
doesn't
drops
care.
bombs. She jumps in with those girls. Allie, I gained so much respect for you when you were like, my thought is that we all have different charts. And I would have been like, I would have been waiting for Lala to be like, Allie, shut the fuck up. Like, and like she didn't, and they didn't either.
No, they actually, well,
They
because
have respect for her.
California's so crazy though. They actually believe in charts.
Here's the other deal. I think that Allie at her age, which
Yeah.
like, I
How
don't
old
think
is
that
Allie? About 25?
maybe mid
Because
20s, late 20s, but
do you
what I'm
have a
saying is,
feeling? Do you have a feeling that DJ Kennedy will always have a girl under 30 his whole life?
no, I think Allie's his end game.
No, I don't. No,
Everyone thinks that.
yeah, I don't. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
telling you, I know people
I
like
think that
James
if James
Kennedy.
stays sober, Allie's his end game.
Oh, well, they showed the previews that he can see them having a family. And she's like, I don't.
Yeah, but we also saw previews of Heather Gay saying to Meredith Marks that she's been terrorizing them for 4 years with stories, and it was her talking to Monica. So, and the
So,
preview
yeah,
showed
so
it.
you never know
You
what
just
it
don't
is.
know the context.
One other thing I want to talk about Sandoval, because I'm kind of obsessed with him, and I think he might be my favorite cast member right now, believe it or not,
Okay, keep going.
is that what people aren't realizing is he's at a loss right now too.
No, I think everyone knows that.
No, but he does miss Rachel. And he was calling her Rachel. He said, I miss her and I miss our friendship. And he is hurt that she has just cut him out. She owed him a goodbye.
Do you see my like how I'm tearing up right now?
No, but
Because
don't
I'm
you
not. Because I don't give a shit about that fake ass motherfucker trying to say that he misses Rachel. No shit, you miss the girl that would never tell you that you did anything wrong when everyone else is telling you you're a narcissist.
But don't you think she owed him a goodbye?
I don't think so, because I think she saw that he did absolutely nothing to protect her when this all went down. And he used her for his own protection to try to stay relevant. And the minute that I think she looked at him as an abuser because he said, don't say this, don't bring this up, don't do this. And she then reflected. And that's why she did that other interview where she came back, like that we saw the second half after the reunion, where she had that moment of like, no, I'm not going to listen to this person. And that is the little bit of truth that I believe from Ariana, Kristen Doty, what Lala says, what Rachel says, is that, and I don't want to say it's Tom and who he is. I think it's the person that Tom's been allowed to be.
Yes.
And I would be curious to see now moving forward, the next time we see Tom Sandoval in a relationship on television, I'd be really curious to see how he treats
the next
girl.
one. Yeah. You know what, though? This is such a pattern. And did I sound Boston when I said pattern?
Totally. You sounded like Marisol Patton you were talking
about. We see this pattern. I can't say pattern.
What?
However you're supposed to say it. I can't
Mama
say
Elsa or Marisol? Which one?
Pattern. It's
Pattern.
like in The Bachelor. It's like I can't say it.
I know. I'm saying it for you.
Thank you. I don't pronounce ours.
Why don't you say we see this and I'll say it and then you can say it. Keep going. So ready? Go.
Maybe
go,
I
go.
need captions.
Go. Ready? We see this. No. We see this.
We see this.
Pattern. I said it.
Okay. We see this.
Pattern.
I like on The Bachelor.
Okay.
And I'm equating it to Tom and women. Okay. On The Bachelor, 20 girls are fawning all over the guy. Mm-hmm. They're in their bikinis. They got the fakes out. That their lips have been done. They're all in their best behavior. They're slinky Giovanni's, the whole bit. He finally thinks he falls for one. He gets the fake on. I was going to say Nathan Lane, but it's Neil Lane. It's Neil Lane, and it gets the ring that he didn't buy and all that crap.
Well, the ring didn't mean a thing.
And then by the time they get to the final rose and he proposes, and then they do after the rose, they've broken up already.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. On The Bachelorette, it's completely different.
Okay.
The Bachelorette has 15 guys fighting for her. They all get their puffed chests. Who's going to win the woman? Almost all of the Bachelorettes end up marrying whoever they picked. Because men love when they have to fight other men for a woman. Yeah. But when a man has all these women fighting for him,
they don't respect the woman.
They don't respect any of them. And that kind of gets me to Tom. He's got all of these women. He treats them crappy. They all end up being the ones discarded at the end. And it kind of like follows male behavior anyways.
Of course.
And it's kind of sad that even in this day and age, that if a woman acted the way like Sandoval acts, and she would just be a raving whore, everything. Yes. And it's sort of sad in a way.
Or as someone said, a prostitution whore.
Yes, because you know what? I think Sandoval, okay, let's take Kristen Doty out of this because she's a different animal. She's not like Ariana or Rachel. Let's face it. They're different women. Okay.
Well, we don't know Kristen now, really, but we're about to see her.
I'm talking about Kristen then when she was with Tom.
Okay.
She's a loose cannon, Kristen.
Yes.
Okay. She's proved that with all of her relationships. But Ariana's not a bad girl.
No.
Rachel's not a bad girl.
No.
And he discards them whether they're good or bad girls.
Exactly.
He kind of treats them the same, which is
whatever. Who's your mess?
Scheana again, because Scheana.
Mine is Katie this week.
Oh, Katie's a mess.
Because Lala calling her a bitch, she came with an attitude. And I just think that Lala, Lala did say after the episode that she and Katie had a falling out. Before
She
that, they're
did.
trying to make by, yada, yada,
Right.
yada. I just think Lala has a different perspective. I think that,
I agree with
you
Lala
know,
a
oh, wanting to
hundred
have a baby.
percent. No, I agree with Lala 100% that what she went through is way worse than Ariana.
Yes.
It is. It
Yes.
is. And you told me all along, but he wasn't part of the cast. He wasn't part of the cast. I understand that. But her mess is way worse than Ariana's
No, no,
mess.
no. I think that, no, we're talking about two different things with Lala. It's that I believe that the beginning of her relationship with Randall didn't deserve the same transparency as Sandoval, Raquel, and Ariana because all three of them were cast members when the affair
Yeah,
was
I
going down.
understand that. But like
Whereas
she
the
said,
breakup with Randall, Lala did put that on camera. She
right.
did talk about it. She didn't hide from it
No,
because
right.
Randall chose to come on the show when he did, and that was fair game. Now, that's where I think there's a difference. What I will say is that is different, and where Lala's situation is worst,
He
Lala
always
can
says, I
never
never get a word
fully
edited.
move on.
Yeah, but like Lala said, I have to deal with this man for
That's
the
what I'm saying.
rest of my
She can't move
life.
on. She can't say, I'm not filming with you. I'm not meeting you. Well, what is your daughter gonna do, Lala? Is she gonna like take a pee a private plane over to your house from his?
Yeah. And I don't think he's allowing her
Cameras.
daughter. Yeah.
None.
Yeah. I kind of have a problem with that. Simon Barney did it. Uh Jeff Lewis had problems with that.
Oh,
There have
with
been
Gage.
others. Yeah, there have been others who don't want their, they hold off on it.
I
But
never
that's
would have
what that
gotten
should
with Gage. I would have realized there was a problem when we were engaged.
I just
All
want to
right.
say, all right, we're leaving, but I just want to say the previews of them on the boat doesn't look good.
It does not. None of
It
this looks
doesn't
good.
look good. It doesn't look
It
good.
doesn't look good. It looks like a Roni take. It looks like a Roni part two.
I know.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.